Hello everyone, welcome to the Ichimoku.co daily US stock market review for the trading day ending April 9th. Well, quite a bullish trading day today, and today we saw the Nasdaq 100 up 1.76%, closing at 3600. That was up 62.21 points, and the S&P was very bullish as well, up 1.09%, 20.22 points, trading to 1872. We saw the buyers in control for the entire trading day today, and we had a second push in the market in the afternoon after we had the release of the FOMC minutes, and those minutes revealed that the policymakers are not necessarily committed to hiking the Fed funds rate in the first half of 2015, and that had a very positive impact on the overall markets this afternoon. In terms of the S&P 500, and here we see a confirmed change of trend today. We were looking for that from the previous day's trading, where the buyers had taken control, even though we had the market in a first time frame downtrend, and we also had the setup for the potential Japanese candlestick bullish harami pattern, and we have seen confirmation today with the market making a higher high and a higher low. A very large white body candle with the market opening at the low and closing at the high, suggesting that the buyers have been in control the entire day. Very solid commitment from the buyers, and the important thing here is that they were able to take out the 1858 level and the 1867 level, and also the important Ichimoku indicators, the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen, giving us a bullish market in all three time frames. Now, one thing that may be of concern is the fact that we haven't had the Chica span here move above the corresponding price action, so we still have some indecisiveness in those time frames, and what we're going to look for here is some follow through tomorrow, and I suggest that that is likely to occur. There's very good potential for this market to trade to the resistance at 1883. In terms of the Fibonacci extension, and here we don't have any clues as to a potential change of trend. We have had the market trade in a very strongly bullish manner through the 38.2%, through the 50%, and closing just above the 61.8%. So the short-term dynamics are certainly favouring the buyers, and we haven't seen the market being rejected from any of these Fibonacci levels, and that suggests that there is good potential for the market to trade higher. In terms of the Nasdaq 100, and looking a little different than the S&P 500, in the situation where we have the market trading within the cloud now. So previously with the S&P we had the market bullish in all three time frames. Here we have the market neutral in the long-term time frame, bullish in the short term, but still just slightly bearish in that medium-term time frame. So a fairly different market. But in terms of the short-term dynamics, we have had the buyers winning back control as they did for the previous day, maintaining that control and extending the size of the candle, and suggesting that they're in net terms the buyers are showing that they have gained some very solid momentum to the upside in this market. We took out the important 35.92 level today, but there is some decent resistance overhead with the Kijun-sen trading at 36.10, and then just above there we have the top of the Ichimoku cloud at 36.25, and then a previous resistance level at 36.34. So some very solid resistance overhead for this market. So not a good probability of this market trading to significantly higher levels until we breach those areas of resistance. Importantly, looking at the Chica span, that's still below the corresponding price action. So it's suggesting that there is still negative momentum in this market, and supporting what we're seeing with the Kijun-sen, but not supporting the bullishness and the neutrality that we're seeing in the longer and the shorter term time frames. In terms of the sectors in the market, and here we have the consumer defensive sector up 0.64%, and generally across the board all of the sectors were quite positive today, some more so than others, and the only negative sector was the utility sector, which of course is a defensive sector, and we saw that sector quite strong yesterday, but today with the release of the FOMC minutes and this bullish news, then we have seen that allocation away from that sector back to others. With the technology sector, that's been one of the strongest, up 1.77%, and the healthcare sector, was up 2.25%, being the strongest in the market today. Now, just quickly looking at the healthcare sector, and here we can see that we have the buyers strongly in control following that indecisive hammer type pattern, hammering out a bottom there, confirming the change of trend to the upside. But even though we have the short-term dynamics favouring the buyers, with the buyers committed, we do still have a neutral market in big picture terms and negative in the medium term time frame by trading below the Ichimoku indicators. This sector has been underperforming the market here, as we can see on the relative strength for some time, but moving back within the bands, and we now see volatility coming off, so suggesting that we will see potentially a retracement or some sort of a consolidation here. Over to the technology sector, and here we see the market attempting to break out through the top of the cloud, so a little bit different than the previous sector that we were looking at, but we do have solid resistance here overhead. So the Kijun-sen is just above where the market is trading at the moment. Looking at the Chikou span, that's still negative, and the relative strength has been negative for some time, moved back to within the band, so suggesting a possibility that the underperformance is not going to be as great as it was. There is potential for the market to move back through that moving average there and outperform, and we may see that if we see a bullish breakout up above the Kijun-sen and above the Ichimoku cloud. Looking at the volatility, however, we see that we have reached something of a medium-term peak here, with volatility just ticking over. So potential for the market to continue retracing to a degree or to consolidate. But the consumer defensive sector here is the one that's looking quite bullish. Trading up above each of the Ichimoku indicators, the buyers have come back into this market solidly, closing with control following the bullish activity from the previous trading day. Trading above all of the Ichimoku indicators suggests that this market is bullish in all three timeframes, and that's confirmed by the Chikou span being above the corresponding price action. One slight thing to worry about is the size of the body has reduced on the previous day's trading, so suggesting that the net momentum may be beginning to lessen a little bit, but still very, very bullish activity despite that, and this suggests that this market may certainly go on with the move. Looking at the relative strength basis, we have seen this market outperforming the index for some time, since for the last couple of weeks, and we are still trading up above the bands on the relative strength, and suggesting a possibility of this market continuing to trade higher, as does the volatility here, which is ticking up and above the bands. And if this volatility can continue to increase in this uptrend, it suggests that there may be quite some way to go for this sector to appreciate. And looking at the utility sector, and here we have a bullish market in all three timeframes, with this sector has been outperforming the overall market for some time in a similar fashion to the previous sector we were looking at, the consumer defensive. And today, however, we see something of an indecisive doji type candle at the end of an uptrend, very small body, suggesting potential for a change of trend. The thing to watch out for here, however, is that the buyers have still closed with control, and we could see some solid support coming in at the Tenkan-sen, which is around the 301 level, and all of this bullishness is supported by the Chikou span being above the corresponding price action. But looking at the distance that the market is trading away from the Ichimoku indicators, it does suggest that it is looking a little overextended, so it hasn't surprised to see the market not continuing with this strong bullish activity that we've seen over the past few weeks. The Kijun-sen here is pointing flat, and that's something to watch out for, that there is potential for the market to retrace back towards that flat Kijun-sen. But I suggest that the Tenkan-sen here is the important area of support that we should be watching. If we see a bearish close down below there, we could see this market quickly tumble down to lower levels and even down to the Kijun-sen, so something to be on the alert for. But at the moment, bullish in all three time frames. The short-term dynamics aren't necessarily strongly supporting that, but we haven't seen the sellers take control of this sector at the moment.